Sister Wives star Maddie Brown says she went no contact with dad Kody Brown due to Kody's lack of boundaries, hints at past abuse allegations made against Mary Brown. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Helen. Hope your day is so well. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Maddie Brown, daughter of Sister Wives stars Kody and Janelle Brown, took to her recently launched podcast this week to discuss her ongoing estrangement from her father, while also hinting at the abuse allegations she made in 2019 against Kody's first wife, Mary Brown. As fans of Sister Wives know, Maddie, like many of her siblings, is currently estranged from Kody and has been for a number of years. While Maddie has made few appearances on the current season of the Brown family's TLC show, her particular relationship with Kody has been discussed more than once in season 19, with Kody even blaming Maddie in one episode for spreading gossip about him to the rest of their family. While Maddie went on to respond to her father's comments last month by seemingly calling Kody a snake in an Instagram story, she was more forthright about the topic on this week's episode of her podcast, The Authentic Society, on which she discussed boundaries and toxic relationships and revealed why she no longer speaks to certain members of her family, including Kody. "I have no contact with some of my family, and it's because of stuff that has happened," Maddie said. "My dad doesn't have any respect for boundaries, and you have to play by his rules, and I just don't care to do that." Maddie went on to accuse her dad being very angry whenever she would try to talk to him about issues going on between them in the past, claiming Kody's reaction was one of the reasons she went no contact with him. "There was a lot of anger, and he'd be like, 'That's not true.' And I'm like, 'It is true.' I know firsthand," Maddie claimed. "I always get messages from people who are like, 'You should just forgive your dad and respect him.' And I'm like, 'I don't think you know what you're talking about because your experience with your dad could be very different than my experience with my dad. Some people just don't deserve to be in your life," Maddie added. Maddie explained that, to her, setting a boundary lets other people know how you expect to be treated, adding that she will not tolerate those who don't respect said boundaries. During the episode, Maddie also spoke about boundaries she set with other people in her life, including friends and family, while admitting that she previously struggled to do this due to her growing up in such a fight-or-flight mode. This week's podcast episode also included a conversation about toxic relationships, with Maddie admitting to her co-host that she's still learning how to identify when something is toxic. "I think I'm quick to be like, 'That's a red flag,' but I think it's because I see personality traits of people that I have been around," she said. "So because of the way that I grew up, I feel like my parents exposed us to a lot of people that we shouldn't have been exposed to. And not that there was anything twisted going on, but they were just not good people. They were exploitive to my parents, as well as the family," she added. "And then there's also the whole dynamic of my parents." The discussion of toxic relationships led Maddie to provide an example of an instance when an adult in her life, in this case, Mary, tried to punish her. "Despite Maddie being an adult at the time, I remember I had a conversation with Mary, one of my parents, and she was like, 'Don't worry, you're not in trouble.' And I was like, 'I am an adult, A.B. I'm married. C. I have children. I don't get in trouble," Maddie recalled. "What are you gonna do? Spank me and put me in my room?" Maddie went on to compare the situation to circus animals being beaten as a way to prevent them from retaliating against their handlers once they are full grown. "They used to beat the baby elephant so that when it was big and large and big enough to hurt somebody, it was scared," she said. "Isn't that so sad? But you see that a lot in toxic families and toxic relationships." This isn't the first time Maddie has spoken out about Mary's alleged abuse. Several years ago, she tweeted about growing up with an abusive human whom she called a monster. Maddie's brother Peyton Brown, son of Kody and Christine Brown, later confirmed that Maddie's tweets were about Mary. Mykelti Brown, daughter of Kody and Christine, spoke out in January 2023 about the abuse she allegedly suffered at the hands of Mary, telling fans on her Patreon that she believed she got the brunt of Mary's alleged abuse. "My siblings have told me multiple times that they think that I did receive the worst that she gave," Mykelti said last year. "I think that we were all affected by her." Both Peyton and Gwendolyn Brown, daughter of Kody and Christine, later confirmed the claims about Mary putting her hands on Kody. Maddie stated on her podcast this week that it wasn't until she got older that she began to realize the things she experienced in her family as a child weren't normal.